wonder what one of these lasers look like on camera. So, good morning, everybody. Now, I'd like to talk about an interesting subject that, if you follow my work, you've heard me mention over the last 4 or 5 years certain rabbis. Um, I don't know if new people are hearing this, but I'm in my going towards my mid 40s, and I started researching different levels of mysticism and associated with Kabbalah in, I would say, the late 90s, when I first started to feel like my research was turning towards having a deeper understanding of the Kabbalistic perspective and different things associated with Kabbalah. So if you spend a significant amount of time, or just started to dip your the history of Kabbalism and some of the famous rabbis, you'll see a big influence from Lithuania upon Kabbalism, especially in the 1700s, when you have Rabbi Elihu ben Shlomo Zalman. I think that's his whole name, which is more commonly referred to as the Vilna Gaon, or Gaon, or I guess there's like a better Hebrew way of pronouncing it, but Vilna is a place in Lithuania, and Gaon, or Gon, Gaon, it, as far as I know, it translates to like genius, right? So this was a guy that, like, to sum it up a little bit in a few sentences. I mean, this is a man, I think he lived to about 77 years old. He lived in the 1700s. I think he died in like I don't know if it was like 1797 or 1757, but I forget exactly the date. But I think he lived till like he was around 77. And the thing is that he pretty much focused his whole life on different levels of studies associated with Kabbalism, even cosmology, like science, astronomy, mathematics. He was basically doing like mental mathematic gymnastics with gematria and letters and everything from the Torah. Every word jumbled up, different ways, everything. Like, he would look for the codes and the formulas within every single letter of the Torah, right? Especially the Old Testament, like the books of Moses. So it goes way deeper. I mean, you can't sum it up. This guy, he had children, but basically like cut off his children and wife pretty much. He barely spent any time with them. I'm sure they probably lived together, but like, he was shut up in his own little world. And people would like look to him for prophecy. He was like a living legend, and he had a lot of prophecies. And I haven't heard anybody, except for maybe the people from Israeli News Live, discuss the things that I've discussed related to the Vilna Gaon, because there's Lithuanian lineages and other sections of Kabbalism that have been carrying out his prophecies and making it form like a global, worldwide friggin' Broadway play, right? It doesn't become prophecy if you make it happen, right? That's following a script. And this is what's been transpiring with a lot of the things that Vilna Gaon said. And this guy, Rabbi Joel Boxt, he has been putting out books related to the Vilna Gaon. I've had read 3 or 4 of them since like 2017, and I mean, a lot of what he's saying has so much truth in it, but they are there's a way deeper level, you know. So I'm not going to sit here and judge people on live video, but people can see for themselves what's transpiring. And the Russia, one of the Vilna Gaon's prophecies is how, you know, Russia, you know, there's two different messiahs in a lot of the Hebrew belief system and Kabbalism especially. In the Kabbalah, you have the Messiah ben Yosef, the Messiah ben David, which is the Messiah ben David and the Messiah ben Yosef or Joseph, right? Both of them being like intricate pieces of the puzzle for Jewish redemption, right? For the Messianic times where the Jews will rise to their redemption, right? That's basically what it is. And I think the Messiah ben Yosef has a different meaning when it comes to different Lurianic, all different areas of Ashkenazis. Everybody has like maybe a little different flavor of what he does, but I think the Messiah ben Yosef is going to die, sort of rise as like a figure, almost like an antichrist figure to me, and then he will die, and then the Messiah ben David will lead them in the Messianic times, you know, as their Messiah. I think that's pretty much like a sum up, a little broad version of some of it that I could relate to you. But the Vilna Gaon was like this super genius when it came to like his studies and research and looking for codes and things, right? And he talked about how when Russia will invade Crimea, and then when they're basically like right outside the door of invading Constantinople, then this will be the time of where the Antichrist, I mean, where you know, it would be like the end of the world type rise of the Messiah, right? Will be the time where their Messiah will come. So that's basically what we're at now. I mean, Russia is friends with Turkey, as far as I know right today. But them, you know, over the last few months and weeks have gone into the Ukraine, which is Crimea, right? I think Crimea is like the Ukraine, and then Constantinople is Turkey. So part of that's already happened, right? The Crimea part's already done. And now we're looking at, you see Russia maybe having, if they go into Turkey, that's Constantinople, right? So they're basically making this happen, right? This is not just something that's happening out of nowhere, right? This is being forced. Yeah, I mean, you got all different people within Kabbalism, in the Kabbalah in the past, that have even thought they were the Messiah, right? There's so many of them, you know, there are many people that we can talk about, you know, and some of them are still followers today. You know, in 1666 was the Shabbatai Zevi, right? He was another one who thought he was the Messiah and thought he was like the incarnation of the angel Raziel, I think it was, right? But Gaon, at a young age, literally was able to create a golem, and he supposedly was stopped at the last second by angelic intelligence, by some sort of Magadim, right? And I mean, he was like a super genius. So we're gonna see what's gonna transpire over the next couple of months, and it's gonna be big. I'm telling you guys. And people think like nuclear war, if it happens, that people can just like shoot off a nuclear missile, and then 5 minutes later somebody else can retaliate. It really doesn't work like that. There's like to just fire a nuclear warhead, Like even the position of the sun matters and all of that. So like there has to be like specific planning to go ahead. It can't just be like back and forth all day long nuclear war, right? So um, the media wants to spin it a certain way all the time. So be very careful of that. And thank you guys for joining me, and Spiral out.